Yo, everybody, and welcome to Epic 7. Anyway, here today we're going to talk about, well, you know what we're going to talk about, because if you didn't see the title of the screen or anything, or didn't even see the picture of what I put up, well, then I'm sorry, my bad, I guess. You know, probably try to do better next time. But yes, today we're going to talk about ELPHELT, the unit of the day. Basically, she is the Guilty Gear collab unit that we all been waiting for. We all wanting to know her skills. We all want to know, is she going to be super busted just like Dizzy or SSB? Is she going to be the counter to a lot of units that are in the meta right now? Is she the next meta changing unit? Well, let's find out. And I got to say straight out, looking at her stats, I love her stats. 115 speed, that's really, really good. Attack percentage for the imprint, for everybody on the team, that's pretty high. It's really, really high. With effectiveness effectiveness to herself by 27% more of her. Sorry, 27% more to herself, and she already has 30%. Huh? You know what? That's pretty crazy. If you get in a lot of if you triple S her, then she's gonna be godlike in effectiveness. You barely got to give her any effectiveness gear and stuff to make her work. But other than that, a Fire Ranger unit, we don't have that much out there. The only one we really have that's a 5-star Ranger is a who is it? Litica. I think Litica's the only one. Besides the 4 stars, we got Shuri, and I think that's about it. I might be missing a couple more, but the 3 stars, 3 stars there are some too, but everybody has, their classes, and I'm glad that we have a Ranger that's a fire unit that is a collab. You know what? I knew from the beginning when I first saw her, yeah, she's going to be a Ranger for sure, because guns, that's all she uses. I mean, she uses a sword too, but guns, that's what she mainly uses. So straight out, okay, you know what? I can already see she's going to be like this. Okay, she, of course, they had to make her a fire unit because we already had Soul Bad Guy as a fire unit, but we don't have a collab unit that's a fire unit. So there you go. We got her like that. So let's look upon her S3. Her S3 is dispelling 1 buff before a 75% chance to put them to sleep for 1 turn, and decrease the defense for 2 turns and grant the caster an extra turn. Now see, this is good because basically no matter what, she will dispel 1 buff first. After she dispels the 1 buff, then she has a chance to make him go to sleep. Or basically in her animation, if you guys haven't seen it, watch the animation, it's pretty cool. They did censor it though, so it's kind of makes me sad, but there you go. So basically doing that, dispelling 1 first, that's great. Charles with immunity buff, oh yeah, screw that stuff. Oh, Fallen Cecilia with immunity buff, nah, take that shit away. Roana with immunity buff, any healer with immunity buff, or any unit with an immunity buff, like ML Cannon and stuff like that, because a lot of people like to put that immunity buff gear on certain units. Boom, take that away, and right there, put him to sleep. Got a high effectiveness chance to put him to sleep. Yeah, and ignores the effect resistance with the soul burn. Okay, well there you go. That's godlike. That's already gonna go through. You're gonna go hit hard, and you got the defense break on top of that. And she gets another turn. All that right there, great. Like, that's gonna be crazy. The one thing right now I can tell you that I see that is bad about this is if the other team is faster. Technically, I'll put it like this, fam. PvE wise, she would probably be pretty strong, pretty good. PvP wise, it depends. If your opponent's units are faster and everybody got a buff, well, she could only dispel 1 debuff, or 1 buff, sorry. She could only dispel 1 buff from the ally, or the enemy. I don't know why I keep doing that, sorry. Really thinking about that now. Imagine you try to attack that Charles. I'm going to pick on Charles because he's the Earth unit. He's the most threatening one out of everybody in the Earth family, besides maybe a Roana or or Pavel or Violet, maybe one of those units. Any Earth unit you can choose if you want, but we're choosing Charles because Charles is meta. I ain't gonna lie, fam. You don't know now, Charles is the meta. Alright, that's how I'm gonna put it. Attacking Charles. If Charles already has, if Charles is teamed up with DN, DN goes first. DN gets everything set up, and then is Elphelt's turn. Well, if she's faster than all your units, and let's say Charles has a barrier, immunity buff, decrease critical hit chance, and a defense buff, and attack buff, whatever stuff he got on him, it don't matter what kind of buff, whatever buff he has, basically she's only going to take off one. If it's not the immunity buff, because that's the main buff you got to get rid of. If it's not the immunity buff, we may be in trouble, fam. Straight out, we may be in trouble, because if you don't strip that immunity buff, then you can't put him to sleep. You can't defense break him. So what are you gonna do? You gotta strategize. So who's the one you're gonna have to take to help you out? Already, you got Basar. Basar can take it away. Not against fire units, but has a chance to, elemental disadvantage and stuff. Besides that, you also got Dizzy. As long as you put Dizzy with the violin, boom, take away the debuffs, then let her do her magic. That will make her good. Other than that, the rest of the time though, fam, I'm sorry. It's gonna be one of those, it's very situational what can happen. If the enemy, your enemy, or wherever you're taking her in PvP, PvE, or RTA, no matter what, if they got an immunity buff and another buff and they're faster than you gotta kiss her goodnight because she won't make it. So, long story short, fam, level 3, alright, unless you're level 2. Level 2 is basically giving everybody critical hit chance. That's what's up for 2 turns. And if the enemy is defeated, decrease everybody's defense for 2 turns. And okay, the damage is dealt proportional to the number of debuffs inflicted on the enemy. There you go, fam. That's it. This right here tells you straight out, she needs high effectiveness, 130 or higher. She needs super high effectiveness. She also needs a very, very, very high critical hit damage and a good amount of critical hit chance, but basically critical hit damage, effectiveness, and attack. If her modifiers are off the charts high, let's say if her modifiers are the highest in the game, broke the limit of the modifiers that are usually we always see all the time, broke that limit and actually go, let's say, 1 number higher on all her stats, okay, then she will be the strongest unit in the game as long as you have the setup. If you do not, then she is kind of okay, kind of hard to set up unless you have the setup. It's a 4-turn cooldown, which is cool. It's not there's no turn taken away or stuff like that. So 5-turn, 4-turn, all right, that's cool. But you have to make sure that everything is perfectly hit on there. And besides that too, let's look at her skill 1. It has a 65% chance to put a unable to be buffed for 1 turn. That helps out a lot, but man, there's always that but. It helps out a lot, but it's kind of a niche kind of thing. If you, like I said, if you go first, you got everything set up, perfect. If they go first and they got everything set up, and you didn't debuff, you can't put any debuffs on them, you're kind of a little bit screwed. Unless you got something else on you. Like, already thinking of artifacts. Well, let's see her artifact first before I make anything. And basically this one has a 60% chance to, if you max it out. If not 30 something maybe. But 60% chance to decrease defense for of the enemy for 1 turn and after a single attack. Single. So Yuna doesn't work. And this effect is not activated by a counterattack, dual attack, or extra attack. Excuse me. I almost choked myself. All right. All right. Anyways, looking at that, fam, I'm gonna tell you this right now. I want to get the artifact just because I can see usage of it on her, kind of. But really thinking about it, it doesn't. The sad thing about it for this is a 60% chance, and if you don't have it maxed out, it's a 30% chance. So you want to make it 60. The higher, the better. Besides that, too, though, it has to be single attack, so Yuna doesn't work, but everybody else would. And it doesn't work if you dual attack, counter attack, or extra attack. All that does not work. Okay, so that means at the end of the day, it's just a regular artifact that just do what it does. That's it. Not a value. Not a. If you miss the artifact, it doesn't matter. You don't need to really get one. If you just want the unit, okay. Other than that, this artifact's kind of skippable in a way. Cool if you have it. Skippable if you don't. That's all I'm going to say about that. All in all, though, what do I think about Elphelt? All in all, together, everything about her. Is she worth pulling? If you already have Baiken and Dizzy, why not? She's there, why not? She's a limited time unit. We don't know when she's ever going to come back again. So for sure, I'm going to pull for her just because she's a limited time unit. And I don't care if I waste all my bookmarks and stuff. I'm okay on the bookmarks and sky stones and stuff. So it doesn't matter. I'm still going to pull for one. I may pull for the artifact, but I ain't too sure yet either. Long story short on her, she is a very niche character, I would say. Why? Because she's the hardest one to kind of set up. For example, and I mean, you guys can have your own opinions. Let me know in the comments below what you think about it. Let me explain my thing. Don't click off the video yet. Let me tell you why. Number one, when she came out, she was all the hype. Like, oh, when we heard she was gonna come out, she was all the hype. We wanted to see what's up. Looking at these as everything, she sounds really cool. She looks amazing. Everything looks great, but it's just looks. Real mechanic wise, it's kind of hard to say because you can set her up to basically make her really a strong unit in your team. If you have the right team set up, you have everything good to go, and she's ready to one-shot every single thing in the game, hey, great. Kill everything with her. But at the same time too, looking at her, if you don't have all the units and stuff like that, it's kind of skippable in a way. Because I put her hype now, after reading everything and knowing how to counter her and stuff like that, and knowing ways to help her out. And these are just some things. I haven't even gone to all the artifacts, like giving her that one artifact that gives her a hit so she can do more damage and has a chance of catching someone with evasion. I forgot the name of that artifact, but you know in the comments. You let me know in the comments below if you remember the name of the artifact. I have it. I just, I'm not gonna go to it. But using that artifact, giving her hit, just like how Bellona does it. There you go. That helps out. But if Bellona's on the team too, then you're kind of good, because then all you need to do afterwards is have her have like a Sasha Yathanes or a Sword of Judgment, giving her an extra attack so she can still try to hit another unable to buff on another unit. There's a bunch of things you can use on her. Trust me. We're going to go through all that later on in the future. But looking at this, I'm going to put it like this to you, fam. If you still have a chance to get Baiken now. I will put Baiken over her, because Baiken, she just needs to bleed. And then she can detonate. And then boom. There's a lot of bleed units out there. But if you don't even bleed, but at least crit on her third skill, everybody gets a combat readiness push. Everybody on the team gets that combat readiness push. Already right there, that's already good enough for me. I can see more useful for her, more useful things on Baiken than I can do with her, with Elphelt. Elphelt wise, she needs gear. She needs really good gear. And I ain't gonna lie, fam. I'm also gonna say this too. everything can change if she has high modifiers. Like, literally, if she has the highest modifiers in the game, or if not, at least whoever has the highest modifiers in the game right now, if she has the same modifiers as that unit, then she can be busted. She can be. But I would have, if I was the team, I would say, okay, give her the highest modifier. Do it by 1 point. If not by 1 point, at least do it by a point. Like one, if it's like let's say if it's a 2, 2.5. If it's a 1.8, 1.8 to 1.9 to even a 2. Just make it a 2. Whatever the modifier, however they do it, whatever's the highest unit that has a modifier that's the highest modifier in the game, whatever the top unit has that modifier and she has it or higher, all right, perfect. You know, she can be busted. If not, and then her modifiers are kind of normal to whatever, then yeah, she's gonna need a lot of love. So she's gonna need really strong gear. Recommended gear I would give her: hit for sure, because she needs high effectiveness to land those debuffs. Besides that too, damage and critical hit damage. She needs attack and critical hit damage gear. Speed as well, but you kind of don't want her to go too fast if you have a setup for a team. Like I said, you put a Bassar and a Dizzy. Both have Bassar, I guess if you want to give him Sierra Rin for another debuff, a different kind of debuff. And give Dizzy just Abyssal Crown. And there you go. Or give or even if you like the Bassar the way he is, just give him Tagahel, so you can do her ability, to do her thing, to ignore the effect resistance, to go for that kill. Yes, all that stuff. There's a lot of things to go through. But all in all, at the very end, thinking about it, she needs a lot of gear to help her out. Long story short, I would if you're a new player, or let's say you have not gotten Dizzy yet, and I'm gonna put it like this to you, fam, straight out. You don't have Dizzy, I suggest get Dizzy first. Dizzy is like the main unit you should get. She helped me out, and she will help you out too, straight out. The one unit that actually can go through Abyss, no problem, until you hit around Abyss 90, then she's kind of, she's not that great. But anything else, yeah, Dizzy can do her Dizzy things. Dizzy has always been top. If you don't believe me, on this date, not in the future in the meta could definitely change, but right now, through this date and way back then, from the beginning when Guilty Gear first came out, Dizzy has always been top unit. If you don't have Dizzy, well, you know, but Dizzy is in every defense team. If she's not there, she'll be in PvP. If she's not there, she will be somewhere in arena. She's not there, wherever. You will always see Dizzy. And right now, when Dizzy comes out from RTA, Dizzy will always be there. Everybody's going to keep pre-banning Dizzy. One day, I always say to myself, one day they're going to nerf Dizzy. But they have not done it yet. They have counters against Dizzy. You do have counters. You have Champion Zerato. You have other units. Dizzy is definitely useless if she cannot dispel the immunity buff. But that doesn't matter. At the end of the day, people still use Dizzy. I ain't gonna lie to you, fam. If it was the other way around, where Elphelt and Biking came out at the same time, alright, you know, we got them two units, and I think Elphelt and Biking will both be like the same. Like, they're kind of like the same height to me right now. Like, it's cool, I got it, great. If I don't got it, it's not that bad, not the end of the world, but I don't care. Whatever. But for sure, for Dizzy, if Dizzy came out this year, like right now, if we were talking about Dizzy will definitely be a different thing. I would definitely say Dizzy is meta changing. If Dizzy came out during that time, I'd even say too that you will see a lot of videos that we did back in the days where Dizzy was in every single video doing Dizzy things. That's how I see Dizzy as, still to this day. She's like SSB, but is Dizzy. Not like, but you know what I mean, fam. So, again, my final verdict on this unit, for sure, limited time unit, get her. just get her. Just screw it, get her. You may never know. They may change her in the future, or she may have high modifiers in the game. We don't know. All I can say is, go get her. For everybody else, if you only have enough to do 2 summons, Baiken, Dizzy, and her, if you miss Baiken, I'm sorry. I can't say nothing else, but I would choose between Baiken and Dizzy over her. But if you like fire units, then I choose her over Baiken. But definitely, if you cannot summon for both this unit and Dizzy, because Dizzy will still be up on the banner for a little bit while longer. If you cannot get her with Dizzy, just get Dizzy. Once you get Dizzy, farm the heck out of this event and get everything you need, portrait and everything, and set yourself up for a long run. And hopefully you get enough bookmarks and or sky stones to buy it, and hopefully you can get her as well. If not, just Dizzy. That's it. That's my final verdict. I gotta say, for sure, if I build her, when I get her, it'll be hit and maybe either attack or critical hit damage. Or I would love to do rage on her as well, but I don't have the rage gear for that. But definitely for me, final verdict I would say about this, last stand, I know I'm blabbering, but anyways, long story short, her with hit gear and whatever piece you want to put. Definitely speed. You want speed? Go ahead and put speed. As long as she has high attack, high critical hit damage. And I say 180 speed is good for her. 190 speed, fine. Anything higher than that, it maybe depends on how your unit's actually performing. If your units are higher than 200 for her setup, great. If not, might be in big trouble. So there's them two. If not, hit and attack. You got a high attack, you got a good amount of critical hit damage, like at least 200 or something, perfect. She might do the job perfectly. Critical hit damage, definitely for sure, because if you got the high attack, you got high critical hit damage, at least 300, 350 max, boom, done. And the crit, yeah, you gotta have a little crit hit chance as well. At least 50 to 60, 70, I guess, if you could push it that far. But the main stats I focus on is just those with a high effectiveness. Has to be high, 130. But anyways, fam, that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry it's not like super extravagant or stuff like that. I just want to give you the points, my pros and cons for her. And as always, fam, you either can do it the easy way, you do it the hard way, or you can do it the many way. Thanks a lot again, fam. And again, let me know in the comments below. What do you think? Am I missing something? Can you change my mind on a certain thing, or whatever other thing you want to talk about? Let me know in the comments below. I'll try my very best to comment on it. If not, if you agree with me, hey, we agree. But yes, let me know. And again, as always, have fun pulling if you guys are pulling. Let me know if you're also going to pull for her, if you're going to skip her, whatever. If you have any questions, like I said, let me know. And as always, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.